Welcome to the I'm Such a Pisces podcast. We're two friends taking an explorative journey into all things astrology and a little woo. I'm Christine. I'm a creative, intuitive counselor and coach, and astrology enthusiast. We Pisces like to wear all the hats. You can find me on IG at The Dreamy Piscean.
And I'm Shelby. I am a licensed social worker, a big feelings person, and a light skeptic. Here to learn all the astrological things. You can find me on Twitter at Shelby Tweeting, and being a Cancer rising on Instagram at Shelby Cooking Things. Welcome to our show. All right, welcome back to the I'm Such a Pisces podcast. I am Shelby.
And I'm Christine.
And we're here. I can't believe we're already on, what is this, episode 3?
Yeah.
Of season 2?
It goes by so quickly.
I know. I'm having so much fun.
Yes. It's like,
look at us.
we're having
Time
so
flies.
much fun. Yes.
Yeah. It's good. One of my friends was asking me today, like, how recording the podcast remotely was going and stuff, and I was like, it's just so good because I have this standing appointment to see my friend.
Yes.
And we're both really bad at keeping up because we're Pisces, so it's just good. It's just good to see my friends.
Yes, it's like the day of the podcast. I'm like, what time are we recording again?
We
Always
make it happen,
texting Shelby. What time is like every time we set it up at the end, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm putting it in my phone, and then somehow it never makes it in my phone.
By the time
but we always get it done.
By the time we get to the end of recording, I am either on a different planet,
Yes.
like mentally, or I'm just really tired of, because we've just been like talking for a long time, and I'm like,
Yes.
all right, I just want to shut the fuck up.
Yes, like
So
my brain has
I
been
know.
working, my mouth has been working, like I need silence now.
I think I am. It's that Gemini moon does make me a little extroverted, but then, you know, you feel it like really
Yes.
hard after a while. I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, relatable content.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. Except we're not there yet.
Not quite.
So I should ask you, what's your co-star saying today?
So I did get a peek at my co-star earlier today, and this hasn't happened, but it says, "Are you crying in bed?"
Are you?
Now, I have not yet, but what was funny about this, and this might be just TMI for some other people, but, you know, we're
no
women.
such thing.
So, you know, the moon time is quickly approaching.
The moon time is
The
upon
moon
us.
time. The moon time is upon me. And so I'm like, ooh, well, I might be soon. So, like, it's like, oh, is this just like a reminder? Like, it's coming, girl. Like, you're going to be crying. Like, I know. Per usual. Like, usually when I cry, I'm like, it's that time. That's why I'm crying. Like, especially it seems like I'm crying for no reason. Or not no reason, but, you know, like, why am I crying about this?
Not a big reason. Like,
right.
You know, all feelings are valid, but also,
Yes.
you know.
Like, I wouldn't normally
also.
cry about this situation. Why am I crying right now? Oh, that's what it is.
Exactly.
The hormones.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, man.
Mm.
Well, what are your dues?
So my dues are fresh air. Done that today. Extra snack.
Yes. That'll definitely keep you from crying in bed.
Just, you know, that Taurus rising. Just, well, some extra to eat. Always helpful. And water bottles.
It just wants you to get all your basic needs met.
Yeah.
You know?
I got my water bottle as well as my wine. And so we're good to go.
¿Por qué no los dos? You need them both. You need them both.
See. That's what I got. Still working. Still in progress.
You got it. That's good. That's all you really need to know.
Someone said they wanted to move to Mexico. They're like, see.
Someone did say that.
Someone. All right. So my don'ts. Howling.
Okay.
No wolves
Noted.
tonight. Self-sabotage.
Okay, I'm a Pisces.
Right. I'm like, but I am, I'm actively attempting not to self-sabotage on a daily basis.
Literally.
Every
So
day,
hard.
it's like, please don't do this to yourself. Okay, today we're not gonna self-sabotage. Tomorrow we don't know, but today.
It's a day to day. Okay.
Day to
Take
day.
a day to day.
A day at a time. Like. Oh, okay, and don't expect the worst.
Oh, these are good. These are
Well,
good. This
optimism.
is just good life advice today.
Yes, we'll be in my Sagittarius vibes today. Just optimistic, good vibes. We'll leave the chaos out of it, but just the optimistic part.
I also, sorry, can I tangent really quickly
Yes.
and tell you a story
Yes.
about what happened to me before it involves one of my Sagittarian friends who, God, I love her deeply, but she's just absolute chaos. Absolute chaos. And that's what I love about her. But I told you, okay, so before podcasting, I had a therapy appointment. So I'm going to therapy again. Yay!
Yes.
And then I promptly told Christine, remind me not to schedule podcasting immediately after therapy next time. But that's another story. Anyway, before that, I was working from home today, and my Sagittarian friend called me in the middle of the day, and I was like, she doesn't usually call me, and I was like in a work meeting, so I didn't answer right away, and then I called her right back, and she was like, hey, and I won't tell you all the details of the story just for her sake,
Yeah.
but basically, she is taking a driver's test and she drove herself to the driver's test and needed a licensed driver to show up so she could, they could see a licensed driver pull the car that she was taking the test in from the parking lot to the side of the building.
Oh, God.
So she just needed me to come and pretend like I had dropped her off there and she hadn't driven herself to take the license test. And I was just like, this is something that would only happen to you. You are absolute chaos and I love you so much. And yes, of course, I will come lie to this highway patrolman for you.
That is hilarious.
It was just such a chaos, and then she was like, "Can I buy you a beer?" And I was like, "Actually, no, I have to go to therapy." And I was like, "That is a very Sagittarian Pisces interaction that just happened."
Oh my God! Yes.
It was hilarious. I have a few Sag friends, and God, they're chaos, but I just love them so much.
Oh, they're so much fun. Again,
Always.
We love everyone, but there's just some signs we just kind of. Special places in our hearts.
Yeah, absolutely. Just that one just keeps me on my toes all the time. And
yes.
I love it. So anyway, sorry. I just was gonna tell you that story before we started recording. Yeah, it was silly. Thank you for the Sagittarius reminder.
I'm with it. Yes. Well,
right. Do you want
give
to
us
know what my
yours.
co-star's giving?
Yes.
Yeah. So my co-star today is telling me that everyone wants to belong to someone.
Oh.
And so I'm trying to figure out exactly what this means for me, but it's giving touchy-feely vibes.
Oh.
Which not in a sexy way, in a warm and fuzzy kind of way.
See exactly where I go. Aries, Venus. Ooh, touchy feel. And literally, there was a song playing in my head by Ro James. I was like, ooh. I was like, oh, okay, not that. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Sorry,
cuddly. Yes. You gotta remember Cancer
Christine,
moon. Okay.
Get
Cancer
your mind
moon.
out of
Cancer
the
rising.
gutter.
Yes. Not Aries. Okay. Yep, we're back.
I love it though. I love it that's where your mind went. And that's, Let me tell you the don'ts, because I feel like that also, they're related in this way.
Yes.
Okay, so everyone wants to belong to someone. My do's are cuddle buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Anatomy, which does sound a little sexy. And personal ads. But then, it's all that. But then my don'ts are playing games. So, no games.
No
We're not
games.
playing games. This
Keep
is a
it
strictly
straightforward.
business
That's right.
personal ad
Yes.
where we cuddle afterwards.
Listen.
No playing games. No playing games. No wandering eyes.
Okay.
So I'm like, ooh, okay. I feel like it's giving mixed messages.
It's very mixed to me, yes.
And then no fault lines.
Okay. I mean, we want to stay away from those generally.
I mean, I guess so, but yeah, I'm getting mixed signals. Like, okay, yes, you want me to cuddle, you want me to put out a personal ad, but you don't want me to wander too far.
Right.
No wandering eyes.
No wandering
Nothing
eyes.
untoward. So I don't know.
So does that mean they can see me, but I can't see them?
Now you see we're reading between the lines.
See, I go right on to my OnlyFans stage. I'm like, all right, so personal ads, we could make that into like, I mean, hey. Cuddling is a service that is offered.
People do pay a lot of money.
People
for
do, yeah.
They just want to be held.
If I liked being touched enough, like, it would be a thing. But it's a tough spot for me.
Is that a Pisces thing? Because sometimes I'm just like, you know what? Don't touch me.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know where it came from. I'm like, was I always like this? But I have been this way for a while. I'm like, please don't be touching me. Like, and I have like people like around me or family members that are like touchers that, like that's their love language. Like my brother is that way. Like, and he just has to like pick with you or touch you in some kind of way. And it's like, hey, stop touching me. Stop messing with my hair. Like, stop. Just
right.
Very, sibling things.
I'm not touching you.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Yeah. It never ends.
A lot of sibling energy there for sure.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, do you want to move into relatable content?
Let's do it. All right. I have a few things, but not many. Okay. I do have a list, though. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a list?
I don't. I have some tweets that are not astrology related that we're going to play the game.
Oh, that's right.
Last week.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm excited.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I have 3 or 4.
Okay. All right. This won't be long. Okay, we'll start with the list. I just saw this today. But this is from CoStar Astrology.
Hey.
And hey, CoStar. This says, at their worst, they...
Oh, I saw this
today. Did you see this one?
It's so good. It's so good.
Yes. Okay, so Aries walk right into you and blame you for being in their way. Mm.
Yeah.
Want to fight. Always fighting. Taurus, borrow your clothes without asking, but get pissed if you use even a drop of their shampoo. Very possessive. Like, yes, that's... Gemini, spill what you told them in confidence to purposefully stir the pot.
Ooh, so messy.
Gemini's like, don't tell me no secrets. Like, I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it.
Secrets mean I can tell 3 people.
Right.
And that's all.
It's like, well, just don't tell nobody that knows me so that, it doesn't come back to me.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Cancer, Never get over that time you didn't meet the expectations they didn't tell you they had.
Oh man, oh that cuts
Does
deep.
does that cut? Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
relatable. A little.
I feel like that might even be like a water sign. Just ooh, yeah, those things that we don't actually share. Okay, Leo. Talk about their pain as if no one else has ever experienced sadness before.
Man. Oh man, yeah, that's a Leo thing.
Leos. Aww. Yeah, y'all not the only ones, but it's all right.
Yeah, we still feel your pain.
We do feel it. We do. But you know, we all experience pain. All right, Virgo. Let their vision for a future dissolve into pessimism.
Just let it crumble.
Just all that worrying, just let go. Virgos, I just want you to let go. Just release. Just let it go. Unclench your jaw. Virgo, unclench your jaw.
Your mouth.
Yes.
Roll your shoulders down and back.
Yes. Take a deep breath.
You will be okay.
Say an affirmation. Virgo, I just need you to relax.
Follow Christine on Instagram. She's got plenty of advice for you, honestly.
Listen, I really would love to be, the Virgo whisperer. Like, I feel that in my spirits,
Go trademark that right now. That is so
the
good.
Virgo whisperer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can help, y'all. I can help.
She really did.
I can. Okay. Libra. See, I just clicked off of it. Let you know what they really think through third-party sources. Let you know what they really think through third-party sources.
Okay.
Afraid of confrontation. Okay.
But also that's very similar to the Gemini one.
Right?
Maybe they have some parallels.
Those air signs, just interesting communication patterns.
Yeah.
See, I always see this stuff and it's like, it's the one thing, like the anti-confrontational piece of Libra doesn't fit with my partner because she is not afraid of confrontation at all.
But
so I'm like, well,
we decided she's a Virgo rising, right?
She's Gemini rising, but I'm trying to remember what her Mercury is. I'm not gonna remember. I'll find out. But yeah, it might have something to do with that because I'm like
Virgo moon. Does she have? She has some Virgo in there.
Virgo moon.
Right?
Yes.
That's
She's
right.
Virgo
Okay,
moon. Yeah.
Also, Geminis can be kind of confrontational from time to time.
Yeah, it may be that, but I'm like, I'll be curious to know the Mercury and the Mars connection because that'll also give us like that whole confrontational piece. Like, oh yeah, she is not afraid. And anytime something comes up about like not wanting confrontation, she's like, oh, that's not me. I'm like, no, it's not. I said, and all the things don't fit.
Yeah, it's a very complicated chart.
Yes. Okay, Scorpio. Purposefully push all of your buttons to test your loyalty.
That's relatable in my experience of Scorpios generally. Although I did have a long phone conversation with my friend Christina the other night, she's a Scorpio, and she's like, we were talking about her birth chart. She has probably 5 Scorpio placements in her birth chart.
Ooh, okay.
Which, such an interesting chart. We can talk about that later sometime. But her and my mom are like the only ones I've ever met. But I just realized that my mom also likes to push buttons from time to time. So, it's
push those.
that rings true.
Skin. Yeah, I mean, see, I think what I've discovered about myself is I may not be loyal. Like, there's a limit. To myself. Like.
And good for you. Honestly, we talked about this in episode 1 of the season, where, don't be loyal to a person, be loyal to your values.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And that is what I'm finding. I think it was last episode. We were talking about Till Swan. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder what her sign is. I could see her as a Scorpio.
I was gonna say I bet she's an Aquarius. I feel like cult leaders are always Aquarius with an Aries moon.
Mm-mm. Okay, very specific. Very specific.
I know I've looked up like 3 or 4, and I've seen a lot of other people talk about that. So
interesting.
Yeah.
There definitely has to be the Aries placement to like be like project that, or like a Gemini placement, but Aries is like that very directness that would and the leader, like the leadership piece, like interesting. Okay, now I gotta do my own research.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have it. We were both wrong.
Yes.
Any guesses?
Okay, so she's not a Scorpio and she's not an Aquarius. Was there wait, what else did I say? Was there a Gemini? Did we say something about Gemini?
No, but she's a Gemini.
She is a Gemini?
Yeah. She's a Gemini, and I think she's a Gemini sun, Aquarius moon.
There it is.
And Cancer rising.
Oh, sometimes she cares. She gives the persona.
This is so fascinating. They have her whole chart on the internet, which I don't know how accurate this is. This is allegedly her chart. I don't know if I need to say that.
Well, she's probably shared that information, I'm assuming. Or, well, it's not.
Good point.
The moon and the rising are really the only ones that you can't figure out on your own without the birth time. And the rest of it is, like if you just figure out her date of birth, like you can find all of that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it looks like, they have a birth time in here for her, obviously, so she must have put that out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gemini Sun, Aquarius Moon, Gemini Mercury, Gemini Venus. Is this Virgo Mars? Virgo Mars, Virgo Saturn, and then sorry, I'm so bad with the little
the glyphs.
Yeah, thank you. They're called glyphs. God, couldn't remember that at all. What is this one? I don't know what the sign is.
I'm like, what does it look like?
Let me just share my screen so you can see
this.
And if I need to cut this out later, and if it's too long, because this is such a tangent. Also, I can't share my screen, so never mind.
Oh, no. Oh, that's right. We have to make you the, okay. I don't know if I remember how to do it, where the thing is.
It's okay. It's not. No, wait. Oh, no. Never mind. It's not there. Never mind. I'll just send you this website real quick.
Okay.
In the chat. But yeah, that's fascinating. Man,
very
we gotta look up. Maybe we should have a segment where we just look up people's celebrity birth charts.
Yes.
We pick a different celebrity every week.
Yeah. Look, that's how people study. Oh wait, okay. Now which one were you looking at?
Oh, did it not come up?
It came up. Which symbol were you trying to figure out?
Oh, sorry. It's the Jupiter sign.
Oh, okay. So you did find it.
Wait, is that right? Yeah, I just don't know what sign it is.
Okay. Sorry, that's Capricorn.
Oh, that's Capricorn. Okay.
Capricorn looks real weird.
Yes.
Like it's the weirdest looking.
That is weird looking. Okay, so she's a Capricorn, Jupiter in Capricorn. Got it.
Yes.
Thank you. Anyway, that was a fun little tangent.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, you still have
Oh, wait. Yes, sorry. Okay. Back. Okay. We ended on
We're
Scorpio.
back.
Okay. We have
Yes.
4 more. Sagittarius. Turn what could be a civil disagreement into a big combustive spectacle. And there's someone racing up my street. All right.
All right.
The nighttime activities have begun.
I think I've never really, well, most of the Sages I know I've not really been on their bad side or had like a big argument with them, so hard to know. But I could see it for them.
I've definitely, we've talked about my friend with a Sagittarius moon, and so I can see that. I can definitely see that. I'm like, why has this become this big of a thing? Yep.
Yeah. How did we get here?
How did we get here? And that the whole time I'm like, we can just diffuse this. We could just, okay, we just will continue want to make this big. All right. Well.
No need to be here. That, you just reminded me that I always forget, Jack is a Sag moon, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? I always forget if he's an Aries. Oh no, Sagittarius rising. Okay.
Interesting.
I always forget. I always think he's an Aries rising, but he's an Aries moon.
Okay.
So, anyway, that tracks.
That's very interesting. I'm like thinking about that combo. I'm like, I'm trying to see Jack as a Sagittarius because I guess that's how I should see Jack.
Well, he is, I think, especially when he was younger, was into like more alternative stuff and was kind of a chaotic weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense to me, but he always presents to me more like his moon sign.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, but
well, that makes sense too. Get the insides. Oh, that's so sweet.
yeah. Is it? I don't know.
You're like, is it? It sounds like it, doesn't it?
His Mercury is also in Aries, though, so that's probably part of it. The communication is very, like, direct and upfront.
And your Mercury is also in Aries, right?
It is.
Just a lot of just... Yes.
No, I know you like to tussle.
I know you girls
Verbally.
like to tussle. Yes. Okay, all right. I'm going to wrap this list. Okay,
Yeah,
Aquarius. Aquarius, respond to your call for help with can't relate. Aquarius are quick to tell you they cannot relate. I can't relate. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I can't relate. Okay, well, why did I tell you then? Okay. I love my Aquarius friends too. And Pisces, at their worst, they completely self-destruct.
Yeah.
Yep. That's very relatable.
Where's the button? Where's the self-destruct button?
Right. It's like
ready to push it.
Pushing it now. Every other day. Well, maybe it's time. Self-destructs. All right. So, this next one I have is a meme. And, okay, it was related to another tweet that I had. But anyways, so, this is a meme of SpongeBob. And he, maybe looks like he just ran from somewhere. He's holding the wall and he's breathing out heavily.
Yes.
We probably know this meme. So, this says, spirits, after 4 different clients, ask about the same guy. And that is from someone who reads, does tarot readings or whatnot. So, also, sorry, that is from Coco at Mystical ASF. We've quoted her before. So, also related, from at Empress Atlantis, tweet says, my man, LOL, your guy is in 34 astro databases. He is everyone's man. And I was like, yeah.
Oh,
You better,
no.
like, the same birth chart just keep coming in all my readings. The same birth chart keep coming up.
I wonder, is there like an ethical astrology code? To know, like, what do you do in that situation? Do you have to tell them? Are you know?
Like, sis, you just give a reading like, don't get away from this man. Or get away from this man.
The stars
like,
are saying
he's cheating on
it's
you.
not working out.
Right. Where do you see that in the chart? Right here in the 5th house.
Oh my god. Did I ever tell you about the time that I went to, oh my god, this is embarrassing to say out loud. Did I ever tell you about the time I went to Sedona and I got a psychic reading and I was talking about Jack and the psychic was like, yeah, and he's cheated on you? And I was like,
What?
no, I really don't think so. And she was like, But I also kind of felt like she was drunk,
What?
so...
Girl, what kind of psychic was you talking to?
I don't know if I really trust her judgment, you know? After that really fucked me up.
Yeah.
I called him immediately and I was like, anything you want to tell me? And he was like, no.
No.
I was like, okay, because nothing in our relationship has ever indicated that you've cheated on me. You're actually kind of a simp for me. But I just had to check because a psychic told me that you did. So.
Oh God! Oh no! Oh no! Bad psychic! Bad psychic!
This is why you gotta vet your people. Although I will say, if I ever go to another one and someone else tells me that, then I'm like, I'm gonna be looking twice.
It's like, now 2 psychics and told me, like, listen here, okay? Like, I believed you in the first one, but now I don't know. Like,
yeah, no, I'm like. Anyway, sorry.
I gotta look at you sideways.
I'm getting us off on a lot of tangents today. My bad.
It's okay. I have one last thing. It's quick. This is a tweet that I saw a friend of mine posted, and it is. Does Mr. Burns on The Simpsons have a wife?
That's a good question. I have not watched The Simpsons enough to know.
I know. See, I'm like, okay, but she has the same face as him. So that's, okay, that's where we're going with. So the lady is looking, do you know who that is?
I think so. I can like see the character, but I don't know like who she is or what her role is. But yeah, sorry.
Okay, because I don't remember who this is either. I'm like, what? Who is this lady? So she is in a little pink dress, and she is poking the booty out in the mirror, looking back at it.
Okay.
And it says, Leo.
Oh.
It says, me in the mirror after I cried for 3 hours. And I said, well, me too, Leo, because same. And I'm like, but that ass still look good, though, yeah.
That's just what it is.
No, you're frozen.
Oh no, Christine, are you still there?
There you are. Okay.
Okay.
I was like, you said something funny, and you were laughing when the last time I saw you.
I'm still here. I just was laughing, and then I was like, oh no, I'm frozen. Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all good. Hey, it's part of it.
But man, that is also relatable content, and I feel like I do that because I was just raised by a Leo, because the vanity kind of runs in the family just a little bit. So I will be in the midst of my feelings, and then also just be like, ooh, but I look good right now.
Right? Like, it's just, hey, I still got it though. Like, I might be crying, but I still fucking got it. So
really rest on my laurels there. I've got something to fall back on.
Yes.
And it's that ass.
That ass. Listen, I've been working on that ass too, okay? It's looking good.
You're out there skating.
Out here skating.
Strong ass legs.
Got the skate booty. Yeah. Girl,
Yes.
Legs getting toned. Like, all right, hey girl.
We
It's
love
like
to
I'm about
see
to be
it.
back in these streets. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna be in anyone's streets.
I mean,
because I'm a hermit.
I'm gonna support you. I'll support you either way, whatever you decide.
It's like, am I for the streets? Maybe.
Maybe, but I'm also for the indoors.
I'm very much for the indoors, in the house, on the couch, passed out.
Get you a girl who can do both, okay?
Yes. I don't know if I can still do both, but.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. Get you a girl who can do one of them really well.
And wants to do the other.
Yeah. The intention is there.
The intention is there. Just don't know if the energy is. Let's go to yours.
Eventually I'm going to come up with a creative name for this game, but it's basically just like, name that sign.
Hey. Easy.
So, exactly. So our first tweet.
Okay.
It's from Leah at @YSLeah. And the tweet says, I love hyping up girls. You said you burnt down his house? ? You go, girl. !
Oh.
So
okay.
who is that? Because I have a thought, but I want to hear yours.
Okay, so see, I'm about to super intellectualize this, but also, so I get some Aquarius energy, because Aquarius is all about the friends.
Yes.
But I also get some Sag energy, chaos, pure chaos. Those are the first two that pop in.
I was also going to say, so my first thought also was Sag, because, like, the loyalty is there.
Yes.
They're a ride or die.
Yes. Yes. I'm with, that's definitely it. Like, oh, you're going to, okay, let's do it. Also fire sign, so they're with the arson. So
they're with the arson.
They're with the arson.
It could also be a little Aries. But
oh yeah.
It strikes me as more Sag if I had to pick a fire sign.
See, I feel like the Aries piece is like, I'm going to start the fire versus I'm going to ride with you while you start. Aries is like, bitch, give me the can or whatever. Like,
right. Yeah, I actually had my group video chat with my two friends, one of whom is a Sag, not the same Sag I was talking about earlier, different Sag. One of my Taurus friends was talking about her job and this girl at her job who's just like really annoying and terrible or whatever. And my Sag friend was like, she was like in the middle of like moving and like packing up stuff while this conversation was happening, and she was like, look, I just found this big giant crystal thing. It's just like this like one of those decorative crystals from TJ Maxx or whatever. And she's like, I have it, it's right here, I just let me know where to be and I will throw it at her face, like let me know. And it's just like, she's just always ready, and it's like always like a loyal, like, I got you. Yes. Where's the fight? No questions asked. You know. Okay. Cool.
She's like, baby, I'm down. Like, what's? Just let me know when, what time, and where I need to be. Come pick me up. I'm ready. I got my crystal. Got my bag of crystals. Swing and hit somebody in the head. Like, yes.
Exactly. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts as well.
That was, it was giving me very much like, I have an Aquarius friend that we have had to ride out before. Mm-hmm. And she called me up and I was like, all right, come get me. Like, let's go. Like, no questions. Just like, all right.
You know it's real if I say yes to that, because we are not those kind of people.
Right.
I don't think. Like, I have to really love you.
It's like, I don't fight, right? So it's like, it's not like I am here for support. Like, this is what I'm here for.
I'm going to be out there, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm there, okay?
I've been in the midst of a fight and, like, I went and hid. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe we're doing this. Like, I am the person that is appalled by this behavior. Like, oh my God. Now probably less so, but when I was younger, I was like, I cannot believe we're doing this.
I was just always, like, scared. I was raised by a Leo, so I'm a little vain. I was like, don't punch me in the face. Like, this is like the main thing I have going for me.
Yes. See,
Like,
then I had,
get out
like,
of here.
yes. Then I have this Cancer friend at the time who jumps in the fight. Like, this is a fight with men.
Oh.
Men are fighting. Like, that sounds like it's none of my business. No, unfortunately, the fight did kind of happen because of me. Now, it dies. But it really wasn't my fault. It was just some drunk stuff.
Oh.
Like, it was at a club. I had a boyfriend. He was there with me. We were dancing. And somebody else wanted to dance with me. And apparently they had... Right, I mean, they had an exchange that I did not know about inside the club.
Okay. I see.
Then we leave. We're in the parking lot. And this man tried to not say what I normally would say. But he comes out. And I think he sucker punched my boyfriend. And so then a fight ensued. And then now
God.
my friends' boyfriends have to also get involved. Because you're not just letting this one man fight, right? Like, so now we all... So my one friend, whose boyfriend, he got his glasses broken. I remember this big thing. His glasses got broken. But she's passed out in the car. She don't know what the hell's going on.
You know what? That was
My Leo friend passed out in the car drunk. My Cancer friend jumping in. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Me hiding behind the car. Like, like, I can't believe we're doing this right now. Like, we're too good for this.
This sounds like an episode of Insecure.
I told you that was my life. I told you that show was mine. I'm like, why is this so familiar? He's gonna read my journal. Tell you that Daniel thing, I was
Aquarius,
like,
right?
so many parallels. But anyways, yes.
Oh man, I don't even. Oh, okay.
I was like, where were we? I don't even know.
Yeah, what are we talking about? I do have a couple more tweets. Okay.
Yes.
So this one comes to us from Emma Ketchum at mketchup7. And this tweet says, "A weighted blanket is not enough. I need a hydraulic press."
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I will say that does sound like a Pisces. I definitely get water sign in any case. Like, it's definitely very water energy, but also it's very earth energy. Like, the physicality of, like, I need a heavy, weighted item weigh me down. So I'm like, water, earth. I'm getting water, earth.
My initial thought, and this is kind of contrary because the Taurus that I live with, Jack, hates a weighted blanket, but it also gives me Taurus. Like, I want to be comfortable in my home at all costs.
Yes.
That was my first impression.
That is, yeah. I mean, it's very, like, the physical grounding of the blanket. Like, it's not enough. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, you know, some people really feel like it's a little much. But they're like, no, just put a metal weight on me and just sink into the ground. I don't know.
Sometimes I follow there's a hydraulic press Instagram account where they just post videos of them, like, hydraulic pressing random shit. And it is hilarious.
You know, I think I've watched some of those videos.
Sometimes it's just like a plastic toy and it just explodes immediately. And
yes.
Sometimes it's something like really like squishy and satisfying, and it's just like, ooh, yeah.
It's very satisfying. I'm like, you know how I feel about ASMR. It's like, I'm not an active, like, listener to ASMR things, but I do enjoy it when I come across it.
See, I don't know if we've ever talked about this. I can't really get into it.
Yeah.
It's like the sounds are good, but when people start talking, I don't. It like makes me feel like they're in my ears, and
the whisper talk, yeah.
The last thing I ever want is someone whispering in my fucking ear. I don't like it.
Yes, I'm like, I don't get with the whisper talking. Like, that doesn't do anything for me. It's just like, it's like, oh, stop. Like, talk at a normal decibel. Like, right. But like the natural kind of ASMR. So a new ASMR that I'm finding kind of satisfying is like skating ASMR. Like listening to like the skates on whatever surface they're on. Like listening to those movements.
Sound.
Yeah. And I've heard like some people when you post online, like some people, I think they call it the threads, I think. But they talk about liking to hear that. So like when you put your like video to music, they're like, just turn the sound up a little bit so we can still hear the threads of the skates. So like, come on, ASMR.
Yes, okay. That makes a lot of sense. I feel like I would really like that because I do like the ASMR like cooking sounds.
Yes.
Like, okay, you know, we're opening a bag or opening a package or slicing something. Like that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
But it's just the talking I can't get down with. Or
yeah.
I guess, well, that's a different thing. I was going to say like eating sounds, which some people do, but that's a mukbang. That's like something totally different.
It is, and I just
I can't.
And like, look, my partner and I have a thing, like, apparently when I am elevated, in an elevated state, and I'm eating, I tend to smack. And she just like turns, she's like, you're really enjoying that, you're really smacking on it. I'm like, I'm sorry, I just can't help it. It just like, it's, you know, when you're eating.
Jumps out.
Listen, okay? But like, she does the same thing. It doesn't bother me as much. Because I know it will be short-lived, but, like, I just can't help it. It's like when you're eating, and it's like, the food is so good, and you're like, things are just happening in your mouth.
You're salivating more than you normally
Yes,
probably.
Yes. Like, I'm so sorry.
How much mango did you eat ahead of time?
Come on, mango. Girl, that just made my day.
Knowledge. That was great.
The random shit that I've been posting this week, I'm like, this week has been so weird on the content level. Just like random things.
It's a catch-all. I love it.
Yes. So everyone got to learn about mangoes and their connection with weed.
I'm so happy to know that information.
Yes, because I'm like, let me go to Publix right now. I'm like, get some mangoes, keep them on deck.
When I tell you I'm going to Costco tomorrow and I'm going to get some mangoes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going. I'm doing it.
Got it. It's got to get done.
All right. I feel like that's probably enough tweets. I'll save the rest for next week. But that's a fun game. Also, if you have any listeners who would like to submit tweets,
send us.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yes.
Throw it out there.
Pay attention to the spell out at the end so you can know where to send those. We would love to receive them from you. You know, if you send them, let us know also that you're submitting them for the purpose of the show. So like sometimes people send me things, I'm like, oh, was that for the show? Should I have, like, were you just sending this to me because you thought it was funny and I would think it was funny?
Right.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, no, that's fair. That just reminded me that I'm gonna check our inbox while we're on a break and just see if anybody has sent us anything. I don't think they have, but you know, it doesn't hurt to look. And
we're gonna be optimistic.
Yeah, we can take a quick break and then come back with our meets. All right, welcome back to the I'm Such a Pisces podcast. I think Christine has some high-quality meats for us today. Do you want to tell us what the episode's going to be about?
Premium cuts, okay? Premium cuts. So today we are starting a series, and we are going to be talking about the houses. So This kind of gets into our basic astrology bag. So we kind of jump around with our topics, but we also, love to
Thanks
make.
for sticking in there.
Yes, like, we like to make it accessible to people that don't know about astrology. So while we're not necessarily starting with the signs as a series, we're starting with the houses. Because, again, Pisces...
You guys know the signs by now.
Right. Like, you can go look that up. I mean, you can look this up, too. But, whatever. We'll get to those later.
Listen to us instead.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
And I feel like we talk about the signs enough. But, this gets a little more in-depth. So, if you want to pull up your birth charts, you can kind of have a look at what you see in yours. So, again, we're talking about the houses, and we're going to focus on the first and second houses today, but, I'm also going to give you a little additional basic or background house information as well. So,
great.
We're going to start with the types of houses. So, the first type of houses that we have are called angular houses. And so they mark the 4 angles of the birth chart.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't really realize.
Just very, straightforward, angular.
Yeah.
So those houses are the first house, the 4th house, the 7th house, and the 10th house. And so planets in these houses indicate that you will achieve some kind of prominence in the world. It's very interesting. Okay. So that first house is, the house of self and personality. The 4th house is the house of home and later life or latter life. I put later life or later in life, but the book I was reading said latter life, and so I'm like, okay, well,
latter life.
Yeah, old age, basically, the house of old age. We're just trying to not say old, but the 7th house is our house of fortune in partnership or marriage, and the 10th house is the house of home and position in career. Also, your reputation, all of that. So those houses, if you have a lot of planets in those houses, that gives you kind of an idea of those areas of your life, that there's a lot more energy flowing in those certain areas. So the second group of houses are called succedent houses, and they succeed or follow the angular houses. Again, very just succession. Yep. Yes. So those are the 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 11th houses. And planets in those houses indicate that you will have stability, willpower, and fixity of purpose. So fixity of purpose. Yes. I was like, I don't know this word, but we're just fixity. So I get it, fixed, that purpose is going to be pretty strong and unmovable. Okay. Okay. So if you have a lot of energy in those places, in the 2nd house, finances, your 5th house, creativity, 8th house, regeneration, and the 11th house, hopes. So kind of gives you that energy of those houses. If you have a lot of planets there. And the last group is called the cadent houses. And the cadent houses, they fall away from the angular and succedent houses. And so I think the Latin root, and I didn't put this in here, but the Latin root word for cadence or cadent is to fall away. And so that is the background of that name.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah, so those houses are the 3rd, 6th, 9th, and the 12th houses. And planets in these houses indicate that you are mentally active and communicate your ideas. And so that 3rd house is your day-to-day communication. The 6th house is employment. The ninth house is mental exploration, and the 12th house is the subconscious. So, very interesting. So, I don't know if it was here. I was, when I was typing this up earlier, it made me think about, I was like, you know what's going to be really interesting? So, I'm about to start a new job in Virgo season. I'm like, look at the alignment. Look at that.
Oh, so very aligned. I did not even really think about that, but it's time. It's the time.
Right?
To do it,
like, okay, during Virgo season, starting a new job. Isn't that interesting? So, anyways, just thought about that 6th house employment. So, this next grouping, so the houses are grouped in these different ways and they mean different things. So, that was like that first group. So, this is another grouping of houses and it really kind of follows what I was figuring out. I was like, oh, it's kind of the elements of the houses. So, the first group is called the Houses of Life. And those are the 1st, 5th, and 9th houses. And if you think about those houses, those are our fire sign houses. So those are the houses that are traditionally ruled by Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So you have your 1st house of energy and vitality, the 5th house of creativity and offspring, and you have the 9th house of learning and conviction. So those are houses of life.
Okay. Interesting.
Right?
Sorry, I'm looking at my chart.
Oh, yes. Are you seeing anything in there?
Kind of there's
making notes.
It's like there's just so much to look at.
But
I
know.
I need to go back and look at this document later and be like, oh, okay, because there's some of these feel really interesting.
Yeah.
To me,
Ooh, okay.
anyway,
Yes.
There's so much to know.
There's so many things to explore. Yes. Okay. So the second group is called the Houses of Wealth. And those are our 2nd, 6th, and 10th houses, our earth sign houses. So those are the houses traditionally ruled by Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And 2nd house is the house of personal property. The 6th house of employment and work. And then we have the 10th house of career and public status. So if you have a lot of energy, a lot of planets, placements, in those houses, you may indicate, some wealth coming, or wealth you already have. So our next group is called the Houses of Relationships, and these are our air signs. This is the 3rd, 7th, and 11th house, and those signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We have the 3rd house of relatives and neighbors, the 7th house of partnership and marriage, and the 11th house of friends and organizations. So if you've got planetary placements here, you're probably very social. You're very, the relationships are very important in your life. I'm trying to remember, I don't have my chart pulled up, but I'm trying to remember, we'll talk about the hemispheres in a minute, but I have a lot of planets. Most of the planets in my chart, I think, are in the southern hemisphere, so the top half of my chart. So there's some things I'm like, I just miss all that altogether. I do have planets in like the 11th house. I think I have a planet in the 7th. But so some of, there's some energy in socializing, but also I have, that stellium in the 12th house. It's like, let's hide.
I'm looking now and mine is pretty evenly distributed, but I tend to have a few more planets in some of these social houses, which I feel like, it fluctuates because there's other parts of my chart that are like, nah, you like to stay inside. I don't know why I said it like that. You like to stay inside. But then, this and then the Gemini moon, there's like some things that point to me being a little more social in my chart, so that's interesting.
Yes, just putting things together. Okay.
It's fascinating.
It is. See, that's what I'm like, how do you not just, love digging in your birth chart? There's so much stuff in there.
we just want to know ourselves better, okay? That's all anyone ever wants.
So many, so many confirmations and affirmations. Like, oh, that is me, okay. So our last group in this grouping is called the Houses of Endings. And who is that? Our water signs.
Of course. Death.
So this is our 4th, our 8th, and our 12th house, and those signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And so we have the 4th house of latter years of life, the 8th house of death and regeneration, and the 12th house of spiritual reward and debt. Good old karma. So very interesting. So, okay, I will say, one of the things I think I was learning in doing this putting this information together is I don't feel like I hear talked about very often the connection with the later years of life in the 4th house. I don't feel like that gets emphasized. I think, you get the home, the family, like, home life. But, like, I don't hear as much about, like, the later years in life. Which also... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to start talking about my own chart, so no, go ahead.
Well, I just think it's also interesting, and I think it's kind of it makes me think about, okay, well, who's using astrology a lot these days? And it is heavily used by millennials, but, I'm like... Is there kind of this bias of old age in astrology, or at least popular astrology? Like, we don't hear a lot about the other Saturn returns and, these you don't really connect as much with the older age. Now, I mean, our older age group, doesn't really connect as much with astrology, I think, just in this current history. But it is interesting that I don't hear as much about issues that affect people in later ages of their life.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I feel like the only platform that I really do hear much of anything about astrology and older age people is when I listen to Ghost of a Podcast with Jessica. Mm-hmm. Like, she I think is in her 40s, like mid to late 40s. Mm-hmm. And so, talking about your North Node, and that's something that usually, like, comes in around that period of time. And then she has several people on who are older and also into astrology. And, yeah, I think part of it is, like, astrology just has become so popular. Hi, Keith.
He's still here.
Long time no see. He's like, stop talking about older people. I don't know. I guess he also has an age bias, apparently.
Right.
But yeah, she'll talk to people who are older. I was going to say, I think just younger people get a lot of information about astrology on the internet. That's where I get most of my stuff. And so some of these online platforms, there are not as many older people on all the time.
True.
And yeah, I don't know. It's partially, I think, just a generational interest, but there are people who've been into astrology since the last time it was cool in like the 70s.
Right.
And they've been doing this shit for a long ass time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's just, it's such an, like, I'm like, I don't know why my brain went there at that moment, but I'm like, yeah, why don't I hear as much about, like, astrology and the issues that come, even after, like, 40 or 50, it's kind of like, just as a society, we're just like, life just kind of ends, and we just don't talk about those ages. Like, we just...
Yeah.
Like,
no,
what?
Which is ridiculous.
Right.
Like, I don't know, I think especially now that I just turned 30, but, like, I have several friends who are, like, older than I am, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you just feel like I guess as you get closer to it, it feels more relevant, but also it should always be relevant.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's, it's like when you're a kid and you're like, 30 seems like you're literally ancient. Like, what do you even know about anymore? Like, you're 30, like, and I'm 12, you know? But then you get 30 and you're like, oh shit, like, I'm not actually old.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like I am. I feel like I'm still out here having fun.
Right,
you know?
right.
I feel like I'm cool, and it's also like,
I'm cool,
you know,
Mom.
I don't need to be up on every little fucking thing.
Right, yeah.
You just become much more confident in, like, generally who you are.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't go do it again.
Right. And again, most people, once you get here, they're like, yeah, no, I wouldn't do that again. Like, would you do your 20s again?
So stupid.
No. Like, it was great, but also no.
I might say, give me 5 years, I might say I wouldn't do 30 again. Like,
you might.
Constantly, you should be, anyway, constantly, like, accruing knowledge, and if you get to a point where you're like, oh man, that was the best time, I wish I could go back there.
Yeah.
You know, then I feel like you're not learning anything. You're not growing as a person.
Right. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with, like, the nostalgia of, like, enjoy, like, oh, that was a good time. And also, I don't want to be in that place again because, like, you know, there was some other stuff going on. And we have moved beyond that. But, yeah, the growth, it's like, oh, yeah, no, I would like to stay here. Like, if I could do those things with the knowledge I have now.
Right.
But then it wouldn't be the same. You wouldn't even find yourself in the same situations.
That's true. You wouldn't even have gotten into those situations in the first place, probably.
Right.
But you know what? That's okay.
That's what life is about, you know. It's the journey.
Yeah.
We're just here to learn. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just such a nice little wrap up, right?
I know.
It's like, oh, look at that. All right. So, okay, we're going to jump into the hemispheres, and then we're going to talk about the first and second houses. So. Yes. The Eastern Hemisphere is the left half of the chart. So if you have most of your planets in the left half of your chart, this represents a person's impact on the world. They tend to mold circumstances, and these people leave their imprint on their environment. So these are the people out here making those like big changes, making their mark on history and all those things. People like that maybe tend to have a strong Eastern Hemisphere. Like, yeah, that doesn't feel like me. It's like, no, that doesn't feel like me.
And I'm looking at mine again, and like I have a little bit of both. I have more placements on the right hemisphere, or the right side of my chart, so the opposite hemisphere. But I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5. So maybe that means I make a little small impact,
right?
Medium-sized impact, and that's good enough for me,
right? And there are other, like, we will talk next week about some other patterns that appear in charts. So you may actually have one of those, and you might not have like a strong influence on any certain hemisphere, but you may have. There are charts that are more balanced in the way that the planets are placed. So you may have one of those, and we'll talk about those not next week, but the next time we talk about planets or houses.
In a couple weeks. Yeah, in a couple weeks.
Yes. So that was Eastern. So the Western Hemisphere is the right half of the chart, and this represents the impact of the world on a person. So that inverse. These people are molded by their circumstances, and they're influenced by their surroundings and the people in their lives. So each experience becomes part of their personality.
Interesting.
Right? So I'm like, okay, so these people, these are definitely like, what is it? Nurture versus nature.
Right.
This is all about the experiences, and those are the things that are turning or make them who they are.
I'm interested in this because I have more on this side, and like, what does that mean?
Yeah. some reflection there.
Right.
So then we have the southern hemisphere, and this is the top half of the chart. And so this says, this emphasizes social and public life. These people tend to be oriented towards their career or professional life and are usually involved with the community or the world at large. And public approval gives them satisfaction. Now, this is my hemisphere. I think I have all but 2 planets, maybe one or 2 are all. Everything else is in the top half of the chart. And so I was like, oh, public life, huh? Social and public life.
But I feel like it's all in how you read it.
True.
Like, you could interpret that also as, like you said, gets approval from, the outside world and stuff like that. And, like, I think about you being really good with social media and, like, being very good at, like...
That's what I thought it was.
And so, I don't know, I feel like... Yeah. Yeah, that's
like, it's
tracks for you.
It's totally the social media and, like, the, like... Let's, be part of these communities, like these healing communities and things like that. Like, it's all of that. Because I'm like, social and public life?
That's still a public space.
It is.
It just looks a little different.
Yeah. And so I'm like, that's definitely what that is for me. The public approval gives them satisfaction is like, is that shadow? Because I'm like, this part of me wants to be like, no, I don't care about the public's opinion. But also, like, when people like things I do, it makes me feel nice.
Right. Somebody likes it, quite literally likes
they like it.
And I feel good.
And I feel nice about it.
Absolutely. Oh, I can't help it.
I'm only human. Okay, so our last hemisphere is our northern hemisphere. And that is most of the planets in the bottom half of the chart. And that emphasizes self and family. And people with planets primarily here are interested in personal pursuits and pleasures, inner goals and satisfactions. And their primary motivation for achievement is to satisfy themselves.
Okay.
So...
Interesting.
Very, myself and my family.
Right.
And there are a lot of people like that. I think one of the things I was reading in this part was talking specifically about the motivation for achievement, because some people can look at it like, oh, they're not really motivated. It's like, well, no, they're not motivated. They just are motivated through themselves. Like, if it's not really their interest, like, they're not going to be as motivated to participate. Like, well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do struggle with intrinsic motivation, and that's like, that makes it hard to get shit done.
Right.
So, I mean, I have significantly less planets on this side, but again, I'm kind of all over the place, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like a good or a bad thing. It just is a thing.
Yeah. I was like, okay, this is the half of the chart that I don't really have planets. I'm like, well, maybe that's why I'm like, I don't know that I see myself with, like, having a traditional family, or, it's like, oh, maybe that's has something to do with those things. Like, oh, I don't really have energy in those places, but lots of energy in, like, community spaces, friends, organizations, groups that I'm in. Even though I'm like, I definitely feel like I'm a whole hermit, but
you won't feel that way as soon as you start working, I would imagine.
Yes, true.
You'll be like,
I'll be
out
less
there amongst the people.
I'll be back a little bit. It's so interesting because I'm like, I feel a little anxious about it, because it's been like 3 years since I've worked with other people.
I forget that it's been that long, but I guess
at least physically, because I did have a work from home job for
that's right
a time. like 6 or 7 months. And that was different as well. But like, I mean, I've been at home for like 3 years. So I'm like, ooh, going to work in general, just the whole act of going to work.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
I'll say, when I started going to work after the pandemic and I actually had to go back to work, there was a period of time where I was like, damn, I missed this. Like, I really am so much better. I hate the process of like, oh, I gotta wake up, I gotta get ready. But then I'm there and I'm like, yeah, no, my mental health is better because I had somewhere to be today.
Yes.
I can already feel myself like slipping into it because I do still have to sometimes show up at a place, but I've been working from home a lot lately, and I'm just kind of like, you know, you see what I look like right now. I clearly did not get dressed for work today. It's been hard to find the motivation for that, and I definitely am like, okay, I'm gonna have to catch myself.
Yes, I'm telling you. I mean, it's like, oh, professional Christina has to show back up. Like, oh yeah, this is what it was like to like get dressed for work and go to a place and not just put on a sports bra and some shorts and do your crafting and like whatever.
I will say though, of all the professional places to work, the place that you are going to work is not that professional. And I mean that in the nicest way.
Right.
I only say that because I also worked there.
Yes, true.
And let me tell you, like, you can show up, you can be fully professional.
Yes.
Or you cannot, and nobody really gives a fuck either way.
No one cares. Yes, look, it's the best kind, because I'm like, look now, what I won't be doing is, like, dressing in this way. I'm like, no, I'm supposed to do this job, so, I'm looking at it like therapy in the same way, like, I need to be able to move. You're talking about you want me to be able to do yoga with children, so, like, I have to be able to wear something to do yoga in.
I will be wearing my yoga clothes.
Right.
Thank you.
Like, I'm not trying to, whatever. Anyways, we'll move on from there. Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I was on another tangent.
I was about to go into another direction.
Before we get into talking about the first and second house, do you mind if we take another quick
Yes, or no, I don't mind.
Okay, we'll do that really quickly, and we will be right back. Welcome back to the I'm Suchapiscespod podcast. We are here to finish out with our conversation about the houses, and Christine's got a little info, actually a lot of info because it's well researched.
It's not really that much, y'all. It's not really that much.
Well, it's good, high quality information that you have pulled together about the first and second houses. So what do you got for us?
Yes, so we are going to focus a little bit more on house 1 and 2. So our first house is the house of self. And the natural ruler of this house is Aries. If we think about the progression of the zodiac, it lines right on up with the houses. See the synchronicities. So first house, first sign. So the key words for this house are self-image, the physical body, style, mannerisms, and likes and dislikes. So this is the house that rules the self, our confidence, and our basic expression. The planets that fall into this house are going to indicate how others see us and how we relate in the outer world. So these energies we wear very openly and on our sleeve. And these are things that are obvious to other people about us.
Okay.
So just, all the things that make us us. So if you have a lot of planets in the first house, there's a lot of energy like inward and like about you and how you express and how other people see you. So there's just a lot of self energy. Hopefully it's loving.
What planets do you have in the first house, if any?
I have no planets in the first house.
None? Okay.
Not a one. Not
Interesting.
a one. What about you?
So the only thing I have in the first house is my rising sign.
Yes.
Right? So does
Is
everybody
my rising sign in my first house? Like, that's what I'm thinking. My rising sign might actually be in my first house. I'm like, my rising sign is Taurus. Taurus is... Oh, yeah, that is in my first house. Yeah, I mean, that is.
Is that
yeah, I'm like, that is my first house. Because I'm like, oh, yeah, Aries is my 12th house. Yeah. But I think there's like a split. But yeah, I think Taurus does fall into my first house. Or it might be at the very end of 12. I can't remember.
This is maybe a stupid question. Does everybody have their rising sign in their first house? Because the description of like what you were saying about the first house sounds like what
like the rising, right?
Sign. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to say yes, because the position of the ascendant is always that same place. Mm-hmm. And so that it lines up with where the first house would be placed.
Right. Let me go look at some other people's birth charts really quickly.
Right. I'm like, I would like to say that. I'm not sure if it's fully factual, but it might. It seems to make sense.
It seems like everybody's ascendant is in the first house. Yeah.
Which I guess that makes, like the ascendant is in the first house.
Yeah, but then sometimes people have other planets in the first house as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That tracks.
So I don't have any like other planets, but yes, my ascendant is in the first house.
Cool.
Yeah. So, some more things about the first house. The first house affects the rest of the chart as an entry point to our entire lives and being. So that speaks to the ascendant. So, yes, that makes sense. This is the point of entry. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And so this house also represents the body and outer appearance. For example, Capricorns may appear more reserved. They may appear more traditional and ambitious. Those are things we know about Caps.
Yeah.
And a sun in the first house might indicate star quality.
Okay, cool.
So if your life energy and vitality is in the house of self, you are probably very confident, very, just a big personality.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So this house has fire energy. It's ruled by Aries. So that is life, vitality, enthusiasm, etc. And that represents our identity in action. And so not just inward, but like, again, because it's that Aries energy, it's active. Like we are, pushing forward with our identity. We're putting it out there. So this shows up in forms of creativity, initiative, leadership, and expression, self-expression, that are uniquely ours and are shown by the first house factors.
All right. Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like I also don't have any other planets in the first house.
So I have no energy in the house of self, and likely is why I'm always trying to build myself up.
Get it together, yeah. Feel
come on, Christine, let's do this. And like, no.
I would love to. Now, gosh, it's so much fun to do this, and now I'm just like, I want everyone's chart. I want to look at everyone's houses. Like, there's just so much to look at. There's
so much. Yes. And that's why it's just unending. It's unending. Like, there's always something else to go back and see. Something else to notice. Yeah. It's fascinating. All right. So, next we have the second house.
Right.
And that is the house of wealth. And I said, the bag. It's the house of the bag. The bag. Yes.
Also, nothing in this house for me.
Me either.
We're
I was like, come
destined to
on,
be
nothing.
poor.
Just poor community workers.
Yep,
That's my
tracks.
life. Just,
God.
you know, I'm like, is there ever going to be like just
Ease.
wealth? Right?
No, there's not.
Just me living in a mansion? No? Okay. All right, fine. But I'll be wealthy in spirit.
In spirit. That's for sure.
In love, abundance of love. Oh, okay. So, the natural ruler of this house is Taurus. And the key words for this house are our possessions, our money and wealth, resources, property and real estate, mastery, and self-worth. So, this is where we find our wealth and material possessions. It also tells us what will be lucrative for us and how we make money. So here's the piece. Even if you don't have planets in your second house, you do have a sign that governs your second house.
Yes.
And that is still information for us to know and work with, right?
Right.
So it kind of gives you some information about how you can make money or what things you may be good at that will bring you money. So, what's the sign in your second house?
The sign in my second house is Leo.
Ooh, okay. So you know,
I have the Sanctuary app pulled up right now, which is incredibly helpful in like being able to like, you know, push the little buttons and navigate what's what. But yeah, there's a little blurb in here. Do you mind if I read it really quick?
no, not at all.
I would also love to hear what yours says.
Yes.
So it says, with Leo in the second house, you are likely to spend your money on fun, creative, and enjoyable experiences. Yeah. First of all. More than other people, you are likely to treat your finances. I thought this was going to say treat yourself, and I was going to be like, yeah, that's also true.
Treat yourself.
Right. Treat your finances and physical possessions as things to enjoy. Sometimes this might look like a childish approach to your material life, indulging and refusing to see things clearly, but you also take a playful approach, seeking to become masterful at the money game. Okay. Regardless, your capacity for creativity and childlike delight are resources for you, gifts to offer the world, and energies you can make money with.
Yes.
So
That
what I'm
Leo
hearing
energy.
is, I need to have fun, and then eventually I'll make money on that.
Yes.
Okay,
Like,
cool.
you know, let your inner child be free and just, you know, find the things that flow from there.
Yes. Okay.
I love it.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, tell me yours. I want to know.
So, I always think that my second house is interesting because my second house is ruled by Gemini. So it says, with Gemini in the second house, you are likely to think a lot about your material life, considering and reconsidering your possessions, sources of income, and what you might do with your money. All very true. More than other people, your finances and possessions might change and fluctuate rapidly. You are likely to be aware of yourself as a node in a flow of wealth. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry. Let me reread.
It's okay.
I'm like, what?
It's hard to read and comprehend at the same time.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Like, okay. You are also likely to be aware of yourself as a node in a flow of wealth, appreciating the lively dance of commerce. As Gemini is a mentally oriented sign, you are likely to value intelligence and your own capacity to communicate, ask good questions, and think clearly could be a source of wealth for you.
Okay. I mean, asking questions
So, I mean,
and thinking clearly, that sounds like being a therapist.
Right.
Like,
Is that a source of wealth, though?
yeah. I guess private practice. Not in any job I've
Maybe.
been in, but, you know.
Right? You know, maybe I just need to, like, continue this astrology work.
Right?
And
Keep asking the questions.
I can communicate, ask good questions. You know, I mean, well, that's coming. And I was like, you know, we won't get into that piece, but it's coming. Yeah, this definitely sounds like my life so far. You know, finances might change rapidly, and like, yep, things tend to happen, you know,
up and down,
one way or the other.
Yeah.
One way or the other. A large inflow, a large outflow. Like,
yeah.
Anyways, yep. So just more of that. Apparently, that's the energy of my finances, my financial life.
Well.
So now that when my parents, you know, give me, you know, shit, or people, you know, just say things, I'm like, hey, it's in the astrology. I don't know what to tell you.
The stars have conspired against me.
They've conspired against me on that one.
Yeah.
Like, why can't I just be wealthy? Like,
you can't. It's not allowed.
But you can help people. Like, I'm tired of helping people. Okay.
You sounded like...
I want to be rich.
You sounded like have you heard that? It was a TikTok audio, but also it's just a video that people play all the time where the little girl's like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. And he's like, that's too damn bad. That's what the universe is saying to you. That's too damn bad.
It really is. It really is. It really is. And like, you know, it's just more of this shit. Like, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, pretty much.
I really do love what I do, and also I'm like, why can't I just be wealthy doing it?
I'm telling you, you just need a daddy, a sugar daddy. That's all it takes.
Well, again, like I said, the OF will be up and running.
Hey,
like,
but you know
somebody is about to pay for some trips and some things.
Speaking of which, that also is not all it's cracked up to be if you watched the most recent episode of Rap Shit.
Oh, yeah. Now see, okay, so look, then we can talk about it.
It's not always...
like, one, meeting people is its own mess.
It is.
It is just like, I think that's a boundary for me. Like,
right.
But you know, again, I'm 37, and that character is definitely in her 20s.
Yes. They're supposed to be like fresh out of college or
right
in their late
like
20s maybe. Yeah. It's
right.
a different
at the most.
Yeah.
It's a whole different place. And then when I was that age, might have made some different calls. But at this big age,
yeah, that's fair.
We ain't meeting nobody we don't know.
It's true.
'Cause people out here are wild. But you might see some feet.
Hey, feet if you can find her.
Or other things.
Feet if you can find her, baby.
Feet if you can find her. Okay. Like, listen, I am not above it. I will be getting my page going.
I can't wait for one. For you, I won't.
Yes.
I probably won't subscribe. That's just a personal boundary for me, you know?
Yes, I think also.
But I'm very
like,
excited for you.
Yes.
Is what I was trying to say.
It'd be a very awkward thing, like, oh. Well, I guess I might not know.
You might not.
But that would be.
Yeah. You know what? It's only weird if you make it weird, and I've been in.
That's true.
Plenty of other weird situations with friends where I probably know more than I need to, but you know, I won't. Just I'm gonna put that on the record right now.
Yes, yes. I think that works. That works for both of us.
Great. Love it.
Okay. I'm gonna finish out the second house. Speaking of the second house, OnlyFans. Okay. I will find my wealth. So if you have planets here, that would indicate an ample material security. beautiful possessions.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful
creature
gowns.
comforts. Beautiful gowns. I'm like, well, see, again, my little dusty clothes from Target, I guess, you know.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Not me. No, none of those beautiful gowns. Natives, so people with Taurus in the second house, are able to be resourceful and can focus on becoming masters of their trade. They manifest abundance and work towards developing a healthy sense of self-worth.
Good for them.
Sounds so nice for them.
Right. Good for them.
So great. I'm like, I feel like people in my family have that energy. I'm like, it's fine. I'm just I'm already the oddball. It's just, everyone's like, oh yeah, we're good. We've got all of our, investments and things. And like, yeah, I'm just, out here, a little lowly therapist working for nonprofits, just
basically
being poor for a living.
Paycheck to paycheck, honestly.
Paycheck to paycheck, right?
Okay,
it's like we can barely afford to live, but it's fine.
Now I'm looking at like everyone I know. I'm like, okay, where are your second house placements? Are we good? Because at least between Jack and I, like one of us has to know how to figure this out.
Jack is a Taurus, though.
He's a Taurus.
Yeah.
He's got it. He'll be fine.
He's got it. Big Taurus energy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I need to tap into this Taurus rising. Like, well, but the thing is about the Taurus rising is it's the appearance. So
it's not nothing.
The appearance is very much there.
Oh.
No one's looking at me thinking I'm struggling. They're like, oh yeah, Christine, look at you. She going on trips, doing things. I'm like, girl,
but
I can barely eat.
Yeah, I put it all on the credit card, okay?
I put it all on the card.
Can't check my mailbox because there's bills in it.
Right. We're just avoiding real life. Like, if I just go into to another plane, it doesn't matter there. These bills don't matter when I, astral travel.
Right. I'm gonna reference one of the greatest tweets of all time, which is just that we could have done anything and we decided to invent fucking money. We decided to make it so we all had to pay to be here. Are you fucking serious?
Right. Right. This is what we decided. Who did this? Men. Okay?
White
this
men.
is who created this bullshit. White men.
Yeah.
We could have been just frolicking out here, enjoying nature and building cool shit and sharing it with each other. But no, now we all stressed out, paying bills, trying to climb ladders, break invisible ceilings. We got all these structures and we're repressed and oppressed and who did this shit?
Repressed, oppressed.
Depressed,
Depressed.
just
hydraulic press.
We pressed. Hydraulic pressed. We are pressed. Okay? We could be unpressed, but we created these systems, or we didn't create these systems, but people created these systems.
This is a clip I'm gonna save for later. I'm gonna make this the small clip that we use in our promos this week because
yes.
I'm dead. That was great. That was amazing. Thank you for that little monologue.
The second house is very triggering for me.
Triggered. We're all triggered.
Triggered by the second house. I got this Gemini energy. I'm like, what does it mean? Oh, it means you're going to have money sometimes and sometimes not.
Sometimes
Is this forever?
For the rest of my life, I won't be secure. That's great.
And this is why I have to find an earth sign as a partner.
It's necessary.
I need the stability.
Please.
I'm just kidding. Well, my partner has an earth moon.
It's good enough. It's good enough. Okay, we will take it.
Listen, I think I told you, my mom used to tell me, my stepmom used to tell me, when I was in my 20s and I was out here in the streets, and dating and whatnot. And she's like, you just need to go on down to Meharry, which is the medical college here in Nashville that is a HBCU. Just need to go and hang out at Meharry and find you a husband. That's what she
Go
said.
get that MRS degree, baby.
And so now sometimes I'd be like, damn, she kind of was right though.
You know what?
I just need somebody to take care of me.
It doesn't have to last forever either, you know?
No,
It really doesn't.
no, just, you know,
set yourself up for success.
secure the bag. Yes, you know.
And scheme.
Just, I mean,
It's not
I don't need a lot.
It's not
I'm not, expensive to upkeep.
But you could be if you wanted to be.
I could be.
That's the thing.
I could be. But, I'm not terribly expensive. If you just buy me expensive, like, singing bowls and instruments,
and you'll benefit
I'll
from
be
it.
so happy.
You will be so
Plants.
relaxed, okay?
You'll be so relaxed. You'll never be stressed. Well, I won't say you'll never be stressed. But you'll have a good way of, easing pain and tension and stress in your life,
You will be stressed when Christine
including the other things I
doesn't
can do.
pay for the phone bill. Oh, and that's a plug for the OnlyFans.
Okay.
Ooh, is it hot in
Doing
here?
those other things.
Or what?
I'm still a Pisces.
Right.
With the Aries Venus.
Okay.
Like, yes.
Okay.
All right.
Anything?
So anyways, all right. Let me finish out the second
Yes, okay, good.
I told you. Second house brings up so much.
It's a lot. Okay, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Okay, so planets that fall in the second house reveal our relationships to wealth and livelihood, as we've been talking about. For example, a Libra in the second house may make money from art or aesthetic abilities. And people with Jupiter in the second house would indicate luck in manifestation.
Ooh, okay.
Like, why can't I have Jupiter in the second house?
Right. Can I just manifest all this wealth to me?
Just expanding all the time. I wonder if, there are billionaires with, Jupiter in the second house,
Interesting.
just kind of got lucky
Jeff Bezos.
in that area of life.
Send us your chart.
Right. Let's see Jeff's chart. We could probably find out.
Do you want that to be
Look,
next
homework.
week's celebrity chart?
Yeah. Yes, let's find Jeff Bezos' chart.
Okay.
Ooh, there's probably some things in
I
there.
bet it gets weird really fast.
Yeah. Okay, so people with strong second house emphasis, are not as much concerned with money as they are hungry for security in the material world. This security usually involves an abundance of resources, including money. So it's not just about the money, it's just about all the things.
Okay.
They just need to feel like they don't need for anything, I guess.
Okay. There.
I get that,
Yeah.
I also would like to feel like I don't need
Right.
anything.
That kind of feels like, okay, who doesn't feel like that a little bit? But, I guess maybe some more so than others.
True. Maybe it's I think there are people that are a lot more simplistic about life and the things that they need. And I'm I very much want to be that person. I really would love to be a minimalist. I don't know how.
I don't know how.
I don't know how to do it.
It's hard.
I've watched How to Be a Minimalist. I still don't understand how I'm a maximalist, so I want all the things.
Yeah.
I'm the boho girl, layers on layers on layers. How much stuff can you fit in a space? That's me.
It's never enough.
It's never enough. It's look how cool it is, though.
Right. It's a nice, it's beautiful chaos. It's all together. It just goes.
Yes.
It's nice. It's
Just
nice.
trinkets everywhere. Just there's always something to catch the eye,
Trinkets.
My trinkets. Yes. Oh, okay. This is the last point about the second house.
Last thing. Go for it.
So there's also the importance of relaxing.
Of course.
Stabilizing influence that experience of nature gives people with an emphasis here. So they like nature. They need nature. So if you know people with second house influence and they're stressed out, just get them into nature. Just get them by some water. Just take a hike. Get them in nature, ground. Take their shoes off. Walk in the grass. Let's get back to nature.
Okay. I like it.
That's the big thing. And that's our first and second houses this week.
Fascinating stuff. It's all very fascinating stuff.
Yes.
I'm into it.
So next time we'll get into houses 3 and 4, which are the houses of communication and family or home life. So, yes.
Right. I'm really enjoying this little series. I'm excited to have a recurring series on the pod. Obviously, next week we'll have something a little different for y'all. But then, in the coming weeks we'll bring this back, and then we'll do the rest of the houses, and it's fun.
It's gonna be a good time.
I agree.
I'm still trying to think of a fun, I really want to name this episode like ballroom houses, and I just can't think of the rights, I'm I just want to get it in there. I want the reference, but I can't find it, so
you can't force it.
We'll figure out the title. Yeah.
The House of Hydraulic Press. Okay? I'm just no.
There it is. The House of Hydraulic Press.
Sounds sexy and
people will be like, what is that about?
Very scary sounding.
It does sound scary. Ooh. Sounds like an episode or a scene out of Saw.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Horrifying.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
On that note, let's take a quick break and we will come right back to finish out the episode.
Let's do it.
All right. See y'all shortly.
All right, so we are recording.
All right, we'll do a 1, 2, 3 clap. So 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right, welcome back. We are here to close out the pod this week. So again, I checked the Gmail. We do not have any Pisces Sprigotus this week. You know what? At a certain point, we're gonna have to just replace this segment.
We're gonna cut it. We're gonna put something else in its place. There's not gonna be no more preguntas. Don't even send us no messages now.
I mean, I know that my whole thing is I really don't know that much about astrology, but you can still ask me stuff. I would love to speculate.
Ask questions. Yes. QT&A. Questions that need answers. But that's okay. We will replace it. I got ideas.
Right. I said something earlier. I already forgot what it was, but earlier I was I can make that into a segment. Whatever.
Yes. And we can replace it with something else. Y'all don't want to ask any questions. That's fine.
We'll figure it out. But our other segment that is still here is, of course, the Pisces moment of the week. So I'll ask Christine, do you have a Pisces moment of the week this week?
So I actually do not. So, I wish I could pass the moment of the week the read. Okay. You know what? Here we go. This is what I posted today on Instagram. So, I think one of our favorite podcasts, The Read, has been on a little hiatus. And this morning, I was let me check and see if The Read is coming back on today. Because, I just was I feel the energy was right. And I don't even know really how to describe that. But I'm the energy was just there. And I think I saw some posts from the two of them last week. And I was I'm just getting that the energy is right for a return to The Read this week. And it was today. And literally, now I did check this morning or earlier. It was late morning. It wasn't there yet. And then I was on Instagram a little bit later, and I was scrolling, and it said there's a new episode now, and I'm come on, intuition, be knowing, crying. I was like, come on. The energy was right. So that's my Pisces moment of the week.
That's good. That was good. That's a good, like, you know, the intuitiveness of a Pisces to just be able to just, like, feel it out. I also think your, like, super Virgo senses were tingling, maybe, because you do have those.
Calling to Crystal.
Right. You're like...
Is it today, sis?
It is.
Yes. It was a very happy, you know, finding today. Just like, oh, that just made my, you know, made the week.
I like it. Let's see. So I don't really have a Pisces moment of the week per se. Well, okay, I will say I keep catching myself, so I'm going to keep talking about going back to therapy because I just went back to therapy and obviously I did that today. I keep catching myself just like having these moments where I just kind of like ramble on about these like big picture like metaphysical ideas for a second in therapy, and then I look over and I'm like, I think I lost her.
Oops, sorry, I drifted off. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me bring it back.
And she's really good. I like her a lot because she will just like ask me a few questions here and there, and then like has a really good wait time, and of course I'm just like filling the space, like nervously filling the space with ramblings about like these huge big picture ideas, and like not actually answering her questions at all, but it's still really helpful for me because then she'll kind of reel me back in and be like,
yes,
okay, so which part
so you're talking about this?
Yeah, so I've only been to her twice, but so far it's working. It's a good relationship.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's my big Pisces moment of the week. And then I said this off mic earlier. I'm having like a big Cancer rising moment where I'm like kind of getting back into my cooking vibe. I made some bread this week.
Yeah.
I'm, you know, trying to... last week on Friday, I did some meal prep for a friend.
I saw.
Yeah, so she's like letting me test out, being her little personal chef, you know, for an hour every week or whatever.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm just been in a real Cancer rising. You know, let me help you.
In your bag.
Also, I did a favor for a friend of mine right before this, so I'm really just like, let me serve you as your friend, like
I love
build
it.
the community a little.
Yes.
Yeah.
In your bag. That's you, just in your astrology. Just
in it.
In your essence. I love it.
Yes.
I love to see it.
That's all I got.
Well, I think that's all I got outside of telling people where they can reach us if they just, you know, feel inclined to reach out.
Yes. Tell them where they can find us, Christine. Give us a spell out.
So, you can find us at suchapiscespod@gmail.com, and that is spelled suchapiscespod@gmail.com.
You can also find us at suchapiscespod on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where I am now following the page.
Yay! Welcome to the Book of Faces.
Have almost no one else following us, so, you know, maybe check us out there.
But really just follow us on Instagram, because...
Right. That's the main place where we're active right
Facebook.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you haven't already, if you're listening to the podcast, so necessary, and I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't already, follow us on all of our platforms. Subscribe to us wherever you're listening to your podcast.
Yes,
Maybe
please.
give us a rating. 5 stars, please.
Yes.
And tell a friend. If, you know, they're into astrology, tell them you know a great podcast. And it's this one. Not a different one.
Not a different one. It's this podcast.
This
don't give them another podcast.
And other than that, I guess we will see y'all next week.
All right. Well, bye. No, I'm just kidding.
We love you guys.
We love you guys. See you next time. Oh, wait. We have a special guest next week.
Oh my god. Yay. Oh my god, that's so exciting. Okay, yeah, we have to talk about that off mic, but also please tune in for a special guest.
Yes.
Do we want it to be a surprise, or do you want it to
we're going to surprise you, but if you stay tuned to the Instagram, you might get a little preview.
Yay! I can't wait. It's going to be so fun.
Yes. All right. Now we're ready to say goodbye.
For real. We love you guys. We will see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.